I am Reed, I am 27, just an average dude. IV made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. Alright, so let me ask you something. Have you noticed that literally everything is getting worse? Like, not just a little bit worse, but dramatically worse and more expensive at the same time. I was sitting on my couch the other day thinking about how when I was a kid, my mom had this old printer that worked for like 15 years. No joke, that thing was a tank. You could probably drop it off a two-story building and it would still print out your homework. But now I bought a printer 2 years ago and it literally stopped working after the first year because the company sent out a software update that deliberately made it stop working. And then I found out I couldn't even fix it because the replacement parts cost more than buying a whole new printer. So I threw it in the trash and bought another one, and I felt like an idiot doing it. But what choice did I have? That is exactly what we are talking about today. It has a name. It is called enshittification. Some smart journalist guy named Cory Doctorow came up with it. It describes how companies start off actually being good. They give you a solid product at a fair price and you love them for it, but then once they trap you in their ecosystem, they slowly but surely start destroying everything that made them great in the first place just so they can make more money. And the end result is you end up stuck with a useless pile of garbage that you paid good money for. I see this happening everywhere. Think about Facebook. Remember when Facebook was actually fun, like back in like 2010 or whatever? You could see what your friends were doing, you could share photos from your weekend, you could connect with people you hadn't seen since high school. It was genuinely cool. Now open your Facebook app and tell me what you see. I guarantee you it is not your friends. It is ads and scam posts and AI-generated slop from pages you never followed and random videos of people cooking things you do not care about. Facebook turned into a digital landfill, and yet billions of people still use it because where else are you going to go? Or think about Uber. When Uber first came out, it was amazing. It was cheaper than a taxi, cleaner than a taxi. You could order it from your phone. It felt like the future. Now, Uber is more expensive than a taxi ever was. The drivers make peanuts and have zero benefits. Surge pricing is totally out of control, and the company still loses money somehow. But the people at the top are billionaires. Make it make sense, and don't even get me started on Netflix. I remember when Netflix was the greatest thing ever invented. No ads, all the movies you could want cheaper than cable. It was a revolution. Now they have ads. They keep raising the price, they canceled all the good shows, and they literally admitted to making movies worse on purpose so you would watch more of their low-budget garbage content. Let me say that again. They admitted to making their product worse on purpose, and the stock market rewarded them for it. So here's the thing that really bothers me. Everyone talks about how things are getting worse, but nobody really talks about why. And I mean the real why, not just saying corporations are greedy, which is true, but that's surface level. The real reason is way deeper and way more messed up. And once you understand it, you will see the whole game differently. The truth is that companies are not designed to make good products. That might sound crazy, but hear me out. A company exists for one reason and one reason only: to increase its value. That is it. The products they sell are just a tool to get there. The founders and executives do not make their real money from selling iPhones or razors or whatever. They make their money from stock. Mark Zuckerberg takes a $1 salary every year. Does he do that because he is a humble guy who does not need money? Number, he does it because his real wealth comes from owning 13% of Meta. When the stock goes up, he makes billions. When the stock goes down, he loses billions. So his entire existence revolves around one thing: keeping that stock price going up by any means necessary. And here's the kicker. It is not just the rich guys at the top who need the stock to go up. It is all of us, anyone who has a 401k or a Roth IRA or a TFSA or any kind of retirement account. All of us are invested in the stock market. We are all relying on these companies to keep growing forever so that we can retire someday. And that is where the problem starts. Because infinite growth in a world with finite resources is impossible. You cannot have the green line go up forever when there are only so many people on Earth to sell things to and only so much stuff to sell them. So let me break down how companies actually grow. There are really only three ways. First, they can get more customers. When a company is new, this is easy because they are starting from zero, but eventually they hit a wall. Facebook has 3 billion users. Almost everyone who wants to be on Facebook is already on Facebook. Apple has basically sold an iPhone to everyone who wants an iPhone. You cannot keep growing the customer base forever when you have already saturated the entire planet. So the second way is innovation. You make your product better every year so that even people who already own one will want to buy a new one. This worked great for a long time. I bought the iPhone 3G back in the day, and every new model was a huge upgrade. Better camera, better screen, more storage, new features like Siri and FaceTime. I was excited to upgrade every couple of years, but when is the last time you were genuinely excited about a new phone? Like really excited, not just mildly curious. The improvements now are tiny. The camera's like 2% better. The screen is slightly brighter. They move the button. Who cares? Your current phone works perfectly fine. There is no reason to spend $1,000 on a new one. So when a company cannot get new customers and they cannot innovate enough to make existing customers upgrade, what is left? Only one option. In shittification, they make their product worse on purpose to squeeze out more profit. They slow down your old phone with software updates so you feel like you need a new one. They make your phone out of glass so it shatters when you drop it and costs half the price of a new phone to fix. They make devices impossible to repair so you just throw them away and buy another. They add subscriptions to everything. They raise prices with no justification. They shove ads into every corner of your life. And the crazy part is that this is not even a conspiracy. They have been caught doing this over and over again. In 2016, Apple lost a huge lawsuit because they got caught intentionally slowing down old iPhones with software updates. They called it battery management, but it was planned obsolescence, plain and simple. HP got caught sending firmware updates that block people from using third-party ink cartridges. Google has been caught making search results deliberately worse, so you have to search more times and see more ads. Netflix raised prices and added ads to a platform that was literally famous for not having ads. Spotify is actively suppressing real musicians to push AI-generated garbage so they do not have to pay royalties. And it is not just tech, it is everything. Your television only lasts 5 years now. Your fridge breaks down right after the warranty expires. Your car barely hits 100,000 miles before major problems start. Your groceries come in smaller packages with worse ingredients but cost more every single time. Your garage door opener needs an app that is full of ads. I paid $400 for a garage door opener and it has ads. I am not making that up, so basically no matter what you buy, you are getting ripped off. A $2,000 phone made of glass that explodes the first time you drop it. A $500 pair of headphones that stops charging after 18 months and cannot be repaired. A streaming bundle that costs more than cable ever did. And we are all just supposed to accept it because there is no alternative. And look, I am not trying to be doom and gloom here. I am actually an optimistic person. But I also think we need to be real about what is happening. The system is designed this way. It is not broken. It is working exactly as intended. The stock market goes up when companies squeeze more money out of us. That is the goal. We are the product. Our money is the fuel, and the machine needs more fuel every single year. But here is what I want you to take away from this. There are things you can do. You cannot fix the whole system by yourself, but you can protect yourself and your money. And honestly, that is all any of us can really do. First, stop buying new shit you do not need. I know that sounds simple, but it is the most powerful thing you can do. That new phone that is 5% better than your current one. You do not need it. Those new sneakers that look exactly like the ones you already have. You do not need them. That new subscription for a service you barely used. Cancel it. The best way to fight enshittification is to stop participating in it. If you have something that works, keep it and use it until it literally cannot function anymore. Then try to fix it. And if you cannot fix it, look for a used or refurbished option before buying new. Second, be intentional about where you spend your money. There are still companies out there that make good products built to last. They are harder to find, but they exist. Look for small businesses and independent brands that actually care about what they make. Support local shops instead of Amazon. Buy from companies that offer repair services and replacement parts. Vote with your wallet every single time. It might not feel like much, but when enough people do it, it actually matters. Third, diversify your life away from the system as much as you can. Grow some of your own food if you have space. Learn basic repair skills so you can fix things yourself. Cook at home instead of ordering delivery. Read books from the library instead of buying them. There are so many small ways to reduce your dependence on companies that are actively trying to take advantage of you. Fourth, and this is the big one, be intentional with your investments. I know I said that we all need the stock market to go up, but that does not mean you have to blindly throw your money into the same companies that are actively making the world worse. Look into index funds that track the whole market. Look into companies that have ethical practices. Do your research before you invest, and do not treat the stock market like a casino. Gambling on meme stocks and crypto is not investing. It is just another way to lose your money. And here's something I have been thinking about a lot lately. We need to have a bigger conversation about the system itself. I am not saying I have all the answers because I definitely do not. But it is wild to me that we accept infinite growth as the only possible model for our economy. We have a finite planet with finite resources, and we are expected to grow forever. At some point, something has to give. And I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to that reality. I also think we need way stricter regulations on how companies behave. Monopolies and oligopolies need to be broken up. Right now, a handful of massive corporations control almost every aspect of our lives. Amazon owns everything, Google owns everything, Meta owns everything. They are too big to fail and too big to jail, and they know it, so they do whatever they want with no consequences that has to change. But look, I am just a regular 27-year-old guy. I am not a politician or an economist or a financial advisor. I am just someone who used to be terrible with money and spent years figuring out how to do better. And what I have realized is that the most important thing you can do is stay aware. Do not just go through life on autopilot, buying whatever they tell you to buy and accepting whatever they give you. Ask questions, think critically. Pay attention to how money flows and who benefits. I used to be the guy who bought the newest iPhone every single year. I thought it made me look cool or whatever. I was paying $100 a month for a phone plan and another $50 for insurance and another $30 for a case and screen protector, and I was just bleeding money for no reason and for what? So I could scroll Instagram slightly faster. It was stupid. Now I have a phone that is 3 years old. The screen is a little scratched, the battery does not last as long as it used to. But it still works perfectly fine, so I am keeping it until it dies, and when it finally does, I am going to buy a refurbished one. Because I am done participating in the cycle, I also canceled all my streaming subscriptions except for one. I was paying for Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and Apple Television and Spotify and YouTube Premium, and it was adding up to like $80 a month for what to watch. Shows I barely had time for. Now I just rotate, I subscribe to one at a time, watch what I want, and then cancel saves me a ton of money, and I do not miss anything. And I stopped buying things on Amazon unless I absolutely cannot find them anywhere else. That was harder than I thought because Amazon is so convenient, but I realized that convenience was costing me more than just money. It was costing me my awareness of what I was actually buying. Now, I try to buy from local stores or directly from the brands themselves. It takes a little more time, but I feel better about where my money goes. The point is that you have options. You are not powerless, even though the system is designed to make you feel like you are. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in, so be careful where you cast those votes. And honestly, I think the most rebellious thing you can do in this economy is to just be content with what you have. The whole system is built on making you feel like you are not enough, not rich enough, not successful enough, not cool enough. They want you to feel inadequate, so you keep buying things to fill the void. But the void never gets filled. It only gets bigger. The only way out is to recognize that you already have enough. You already are enough. I am not saying do not buy things you need. Obviously, you need food and shelter and clothes and basic necessities. But there is a difference between buying what you need and buying what they tell you to want. And learning to tell the difference is the single most important financial skill you can develop. So yeah, that is my take on enshittification. It is real and it is everywhere, and it is only going to get worse unless we do something about it. But you do not have to be a victim of it. You can opt out in small ways that add up over time, and if enough of us opt out, maybe the system will be forced to change. At least that is what I am hoping for. If you want to learn more about this topic, I would definitely check out Cory Doctorow's book about enshittification. It goes way deeper into the mechanics of how this all works. And if you can find it at a local bookstore, please buy it there instead of on Amazon. I know it is tempting to just click one button and have it show up at your door tomorrow, but try to resist. Support local, support small. It matters. All right, that is all I got for you today. Let me know in the comments if you have noticed things getting worse in your own life. I bet you have some stories. And if you found this video helpful, to like and subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Take care of yourselves and your money. I will see you in the next one. Peace.